Hold on, brother. Come on. You gonna make it. You only got a little longer. Nah, war, man. Shit, our black should be back in the Bronx where we belong.
Yeah, you go give me some squares, man. I gotta take care of a couple things, baby. I'll get back with you, all right?
One of the most underrated crime dramas of the 90s, Dead Presidents.
You should tap that ass for you was opening now.
This gritty, powerful film by the Hughes brothers took us deep into the struggles of Vietnam War veterans, racial injustice, and the harsh realities of life after combat. Directed by the Hughes brothers, Albert and Alan, this movie isn't just a stylish crime thriller. It's a powerful commentary on race, poverty, and the broken promises made to returning veterans.
It's been 25 years since Dead Presidents starring Larenz Tate released in theaters.
We were 21 when we made it. It came out when we were 22, right?
Today, we're taking a deep dive into a film that shook audiences with its raw portrayal of post-Vietnam America. But did you know this movie is packed with hidden facts and behind-the-scenes secrets that'll blow your mind? I've got 10 secrets that are guaranteed to make your jaw hit the floor. Some of them you might already know, but trust me when I tell you, there's a whole lot more happening beneath the surface than you'd expect. And guess what? There's a bonus fact at the end that's so juicy, you won't see it coming. You definitely want to stick around for that. Number 10, the Hughes brothers. Let's talk about the directorial chops of twin brothers Albert and Alan Hughes.
Working with the Hughes brothers was great because they had the 60s, 70s music all around the set the whole time, man.
Turns out they've been playing director and writer since they were practically in diapers. Okay, don't take that literally. It was more like 12 years old. But can you even imagine being that young and already making movies? Talk about lifelong collaboration. Or maybe just two kids with a camera and a lot of bossiness.
We were 22 years old or 21 making that movie.
Either way, they've been at it forever. Number 9, true life story. Dead Presidents isn't just some made-up movie magic.
And it was short stories from Vietnam, from different vets.
It's loosely based on the real-life story of Ari S. Moretazon. He came back from the Vietnam War thinking he'd get a hero's welcome, right? Wrong. So what's a guy to do when he's got bills to pay and nobody's hiring? He turned to crime. I know, scandalous. Moretazon's story was documented in the book Bloods: An Oral History of the Vietnam War by Black Veterans. Dead Presidents is not just some Hollywood fluff. It's got roots, juicy, real-life roots.
Bed, you come on in and make yourself at home. Come on in.
Plot twist, though. Word on the streets is that Moretazon spilled the tea about the Dead President screening. Apparently, the Hughes twins gave him a little heads up before the show, telling him the movie was loosely based on his life. And let me tell you, when he watched it for 120 minutes, he was in total shock. He's sitting there, popcorn in hand, thinking, this is gonna be my moment. And what does he get? Blood and guts galore. I never killed anybody, he says. Like, duh.
Did you see that shit, man?
He's expecting his real story, the radicalization, the political rage, the whole White House thing. But no, they skip all the good stuff. They go straight for the Hollywood horror show, as he put it, and get this. The movie ends when his actual life starts. Number 8, title meaning. Let's talk about that title, Dead Presidents, shall we? It's not just catchy, it's deep. You know those faces on your dollar bills? Yeah, those are the dead presidents.
Whoa. Hey, thanks, Kirby.
Ain't nothing to thank me for. You earned it.
But it's not just about the cash. It's like these guys are chasing the American dream, but it's all twisted and tarnished. They're going after those dead presidents, but in the process, they're kind of dying inside with their morals going out the window. It's like the money itself is tainted. Those faces, those symbols of power and wealth, they're connected to something dark, something corrupt. It's like the film is saying, look at what you're willing to do for a buck, and it ain't pretty. Number 7, De Niro reference. The cab driver at the start of Dead Presidents is totally a straight-up wink-wink, nudge-nudge Robert De Niro in the 1976 movie Taxi Driver. I mean, it's so obvious. The whole vibe, the look, the way he talks, it's like they took inspiration straight from De Niro's iconic role.
You make the move. It's your move.
You know they had to throw that in there for all the movie buffs to catch. Number 6, 53rd Precinct reference. Speaking of sneaky throwbacks, all the cops in Dead Presidents were from the totally fictional 53rd Precinct, which just happens to be the same spot where Car 54, Where Are You, and Beretta were set. It's like the filmmakers were giving a little wink to classic TV, just like they did with the De Niro reference. You know they were all about those clever Easter eggs for the sharp-eyed viewers to catch.
You waiting on the number 11 bus?
Yes.
Let me check for you.
No need to go to any trouble, officer.
No trouble at all, brother.
Number 5, The Judge. Then when the judge pops up in Dead Presidents, right? And it's Martin Sheen. But here's the twist. He's uncredited, like a little secret for those in the know.
Excuse me, Counsel. I, too, was a Marine, served my country proudly in World War II.
In Dead Presidents, he's a Marine, while in Apocalypse Now, he was Army. Switching sides, y'all. Talk about a subtle, or not so subtle, tribute to his iconic Vietnam War roles.
And terminate the Colonel's command.
Terminate.
It's like they said, hey, remember that iconic soldier? Well, he's back, but he's traded his fatigues for a judge's robe. Now let's talk about the movie's cast. We've got Larenz Tate, Honey, playing Anthony, the heart of the whole thing.
Go play with your blast. Go play with your.
Chris Tucker, yep, he's there, bringing that signature energy as Skip.
The last couple more.
Then there's Keith David.
You got more heart than your ass old man. Come here.
Terrence Howard.
Gotta kick your little man.
Oh, man.
Rose Jackson.
You know I'm gonna wait for you, Anthony.
And amongst many others, and Bush Wright as Delilah. Serving looks and strength. Number 4, Jada Pinkett Smith rejects role. Now speaking of the role of Delilah, did you know that Jada Pinkett Smith was supposed to be Delilah in the movie? But guess what? She said no.
I said, why didn't you do the movie? They kept saying they had the character Delilah. You was going to be this revolutionary thing. And she was like, I just couldn't do it.
And the reason? It's a tad spicy.
At the time, I was really close with Tupac. And Tupac had this sort of beef at the time with the Hughes brothers.
See, her bestie, Tupac Shakur, he got the boot from Menace II Society, which, by the way, was also directed by Albert Hughes. And let me tell you, it wasn't a friendly parting. They had a major falling out. So Jada, being a loyal friend, was like, nope, I'm not working with him. Talk about sticking to your guns.
She had worked with the Hughes brothers. She really liked them. She had a good relationship with Tupac, and she just didn't want to get in the middle of it. And she thought, like, if she had done that movie, it would have been a little weird.
Can you imagine the tension on set if she had taken the role anyways? It would have been a mess. Loyalty over Hollywood, that's what I'm talking about. Number 3, Larenz Tate, main character. Larenz Tate at the time was practically a fresh face. Not a huge star, just kind of there. But let me tell you, he brought it. He played Anthony Curtis with such raw emotion, it was like he was living it.
When I'm in a headspace of like, okay, we're in this era, while we're working, I like to try to keep, things all in that realm of that era.
You could feel his pain, his frustration, his desperation. He just poured his heart and soul into that role. And you know what? Larenz stole the show. He proved that you don't need to be a big-name celebrity to deliver a powerhouse performance. He just had that raw talent, that spark, that something special, really making that character unforgettable and launching his career. It was like, hello world, Larenz Tate is here.
Shut the up. You don't know, girl. You really don't know.
And he hasn't stopped shining since. Number 2, 5 actors from a previous movie were cast. Really, that is great, considering Dead Presidents was practically a Menace II Society after party, because 5 of those actors jumped right over. Larenz Tate, of course, was front and center again. Then there was Clifton Powell, James Pickens Jr., Ryan Williams, and Clifton Collins Jr. They all came along for the ride, too. It's like the Hughes brothers had their own little repertory company, bringing back familiar faces for a whole new, but equally gritty, story. Number 1, Shotgun. Did you notice that Anthony, played by Larenz Tate, is almost always carrying a shotgun? I mean, it's like his signature weapon in the movie. So here's the tea. Shotguns weren't exactly the standard issue during the Vietnam War, But here's the thing. In those dense jungles, it was super hard to spot the enemy, even if they were right in front of you. So guess what? The shotgun became the go-to for Marines, especially the point man, the one leading the pack. Why? Because it was way more likely to hit something, even if you couldn't see through all the brush and trees. The shotgun made it easier to just blast in the general direction of danger and hope for the best. Kinda wild, right? You made it to our bonus fact, F word. If you thought Dead Presidents was intense, though, just wait till you hear this. Did you know they dropped the F-bomb a whopping 247 times in Dead Presidents?
See, man, why the f you always gotta talk some shit? See, that's why I kicked this when he was a little kid, man. What the f you looking at me like that for, man? I'm just complimenting you on your taste.
Talk now, I'm what the fuck? Come on. I'll knock your right back down, fake wanna be preaching no members having mother. Don't blame me for your fuck-ups. Why don't y'all stop acting like some clowns?
Can you believe it? That's like almost every other sentence. That's almost enough to make Quentin Tarantino blush, because we all know how his movies are practically a masterclass in using the F word.
I said stay the fuck away from our family.
They weren't holding back anything. It just goes to show you how intense and gritty Dead Presidents really was. It was like they wanted you to feel the frustration, the anger, the desperation. And let me tell you, it worked. It's definitely not a movie for the faint of heart. That's for sure. But it's also a testament to how real and raw they wanted to make it. 247 times. Just wow. This movie is all about that raw vibe, the sheer realism of it all. It wasn't just a movie, it was a mirror to society. It showed the struggles of returning vets, the systemic racism, the economic desperation. And it did it with style, with grit, and with a whole lot of attitude. From behind-the-scenes drama to hidden references and intense performances, this film is packed with layers you didn't even know were there. But there you have it, my loves. Dead Presidents. Dissected, dished, and delivered. Now maybe go and rewatch it with fresh eyes. And remember, the best stories are the ones with a little bit of drama.